to everyone, especially the media who've joined us and distinguished guests. We welcome you all to the virtual press conference to announce the global breakthrough in ventilator design that will help address the shortage of ventilators across India and other global centers of this pandemic. We are pleased to share that an all-India team led by engineer, inventor, entrepreneur and former member of parliament, Mr. Konda Vishweshwar Reddy, has successfully achieved concept validation for a prototype COVID-19 specific ventilator built to UK and Canadian government specifications. We have Mr. Reddy with us today to take us through this innovative and next steps. Before I hand it over to him, please note that during the address by Mr. Reddy, we all will be muted and he will be talking to all of us, while only during the Q&A session we will be unmuting the media to ask questions. Sir, we welcome you and please go ahead and share insights about this.
Thank you all of us for being here. Now, what we have here is the first Indian design developed COVID ventilator, COVID specific. Now, there are many types of ventilators. There are CPAP machines, BiPAP machines, mechanized bamboo bags. But what we need for COVID is not merely a machine which will make a patient breathe and breathe out. We need a machine that has the ability to oxygenate the patient blood. So now what is this COVID ventilator? And we all know there's a ventilator shortage throughout the world, including the advanced countries, United States, Italy, UK. They are all ventilator manufacturers. Even they have a shortage. So what type of ventilator can solve these critical patients who have coronavirus, patients with ARDS, acute respiratory distress syndrome? So an ICU ventilator definitely can solve that problem. An ICU ventilator can be used on critical COVID patients, but ICU ventilators are expensive and it takes a long time to manufacture and there's a supply chain issue. So UK government was the first government in the world to come up with what is called as a specifications, minimum specifications, which will give clinical benefits to a coronavirus patient. After that, Australian government and Canadian government and US also came up with emergency use authorization for FDA. And subsequently, of course, the government of India was very proactive. They also came up with what is called as essential features for a COVID ventilator. Now, this particular machine is the first machine designed and developed. Other than the ICU machines that are there worldwide and one or two manufacturers in India, they also can supply COVID ventilators. But this is the first one that is newly developed specifically in this period to fight coronavirus. And we can go a little more deeper into it. So basically what is required is simply by pushing in the air, it doesn't. It requires very precise control. To be more specific, I have a small graph here. So typically one needs to increase the input pressure to a peak pressure, inspiration pressure, a plateau pressure, and then the expiration pressure. So the ventilator should be able to do all this function, not merely pushing the. Why? That's because for normal patients, it will merely pushing the air into the lungs and it will oxygenate the blood. But for a COVID patient or a pneumonia patient or patient with ARDS, the alveolus, there are 600 million of them, gets inflamed. They are coated with, they are filled with alveolar fluid, and so the oxygen has to penetrate the alveolar fluid through the alveolus into the blood vessels to oxygenate. So you need pressure. But if you give pressure, the alveolus get damaged, what is called as a ventilator-induced injury. So you have to give pressure without injuring the patient. Now that is possible only through ICU ventilators and ventilators designed for treating COVID patients, not just a bamboo bag squeezing machine or a CPAP machine or a BiPAP machine. So this is what it requires. And how do we do it? The PIP, the peak input pressure, the plateau pressure, the peak end, the end expiratory pressure, all these have to be managed. And you need additional features like oxygen breath.
So may I request you to look into this camera as well?
Yeah. So it should be able to control all these parameters and have all the safety features. Then they have additional features. This ventilator has features beyond the basic features which the UK government, Canadian and the Indian government. It has features more than that. You can actually do alveolar recruitment maneuver, and probably it can, it can also do the oxygen breath, and it has about 5-6 different modes of ventilation. So that's how this particular. Now the crux or the heart of this ventilation, besides the controlling mechanism, which is electronics and software, is what we have applied for patent is what is called as a PAP, a precision air pump, because it has a chamber to control the volume and a chamber to control the pressure. So both the pressures and this thing, and that is actually at the back of this here, the PAP. We have the PAP here, the precision air pump, and that is what is patented. And then once you have that, you don't have to depend on very expensive regulators and sensors which are in soft supply. The supply chain of which is a problem. It takes 7 months for some of these sensors and regulators to be delivered to us. So it doesn't require very expensive and sophisticated pressure and flow regulators. It is made from, lot of these are industrial parts available in most part of the developed and the developing world. Now, we have 3 different models of these ventilators. One is what you're seeing, this is a high-end with all kinds of touch control screens and graphics and other things. This is a little more expensive one, which costs about 1.4 lakhs or so. Then to 1.2 lakhs, we have a lower end, mid-end one, which is about 90,000 Indian rupees. That's a little more than, let's say, 1,000 pounds. And the lowest end will be like 50,000 rupees. And that is probably about 500 pounds or a little more than 500 pounds. So this is a ventilator which can be used in different parts of the world, not just in India. And it meets all the specifications for fighting coronavirus.
Okay, I think thank you very much, sir, for taking us through this. I would now request the media who is on the VPC, the virtual press conference, to first raise their hands and ask questions. I will request the Hyderabad local media to please hold on. Let this virtual press conference get over and they will get a chance to talk to him offline. So I would request them to please have some patience. I can have Mr. E. Kumar Sharma now from Business Today who wants to ask you a question, sir. I will unmute him.
Sure.
Mr. Sharma, can you go ahead?
Yeah. Hello?
Yes, sir, you can hear you.
Yeah. My question is essentially, if you can tell in terms of what do you mean by concept validation? What is it that, what do you mean by that? What is the current status now? And when will it be unrolled? And what is the kind of cost he's talking of?
Good. So the concept validation is basically the validation of what we designed, the PAP. That happened about 6.
Can you come a bit closer, sir? I cannot hear
Sir,
you.
can you come a bit closer?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Okay, the concept validation is basically, there's an innovation here, which is the PAP, a pump that can control the pressure and volume. This happened about 6 weeks back. And subsequently, we have come a long way. We have actually completed the first prototype, the second prototype, and what you're saying is the final prototype which is tested on human beings. But before testing on human beings, there's a machine, Citrix and Fluke makes, the German companies make machine, which validates, calibrates, and certifies ventilator. So it's already tested on them.
Sir, can you please sit up so that we can see you as well while we talk to the media? Yes, please, go ahead.
So,
Yes, go ahead, sir. Yeah. you can
yeah.
see.
So this is the concept validation happened about 6 weeks ago. Then various tests happened. Then calibration, validation, and certification also happened on imported ventilator certification equipment. We are one of the few people in the country who have that particular machine, and we tested for that.
So what is the status now? I have
Current
a
status.
question.
Yeah. So the current status now is the ventilator is fully complete. What we are doing is some of the user interface. This is the user interfaces we presented to the doctor. What you saw behind, and the robustness. It's not just the functionality is not sufficient. The most important feature for a ventilator is reliability and robustness. Now, according to British specification, the ventilator has to run continuously for 4 days because nothing should get heated in the 4 days, day and night, 24 hours. But the typical in many of the ICUs in India, patient stays there for 2 weeks. So 14 days, 24 hours testing is not completed, the reliability. We have chosen parts, for example, the compressor, we have chosen runs for continuously for 3 months. But there are so many other parts, the valves and other things, we have to test them. Test them after putting them together. So the next 2 weeks is the reliability testing has already started. Next 2 weeks is the reliability and robustness testing. And it is only after that we will start manufacturing. So manufacturing is still about 3 to 4 weeks away. But
Okay,
3 to 4 weeks away is releasing into the market. Right now the reliability, repeatability, accuracy, robustness, calibrations, all these are happening right now.
Okay, and the two other points which were there was, we need the approval of DCGI for this because it's a medical device and a life-saving equipment.
Yeah,
And
I
what will
think
be
that
the cost of this?
Yeah. The Empowered Committee is looking into this approvals here, and they actually came
Who's
up with
looking into it? Who's looking into
the
it?
Empowered DIPP has
Okay.
formed the Empowered Committee, and it involves AIMS doctors, DRDO, quite a few scientists. All these people are there in the committee. They have come up with the specs for this. They are going to approve this, to my knowledge. And the cost of this, the highest end we are expecting between 1.2 to 1.4. The mid end is about 90,000, and the lowest end is around 40-50,000. But the accuracy for the highest model and the lowest model is going to be identical. It's only the user interfaces and some of the bells and whistles are going to be very different.
Compared to the normal ventilators, how much will it be? This is 40,000 compared to what, 5 lakhs for the regular ventilator?
No, you have to compare the 5 lakhs for a regular ventilator with a 1.2 lakh one, because the 5 lakhs, there's one made in India. It's very advanced, very good. It's an ICU ventilator, and it is 5 lakhs. So you can't compare that with this thing, and you have to compare that with a 1.2 lakh one. And even that, ours will have a few features less than that 5 lakh one, but it is more than sufficient to treat COVID patients as per the Indian government or UK or the Canadian government.
Okay. Last bit, sorry to ask this one more, but when will this, do you have, where will it be manufactured? Do you have the kind of capacities and will you be supplying in India?
Yeah, our company, Citadel Research, and this, we are primarily our main output is IPRs. We develop IPRs. In the past, we sold to General Electric, Wipros, and Deep Sea Technologies. Multiple companies we sold IPRs. We have limited manufacturing capabilities. We can manufacture here about 300 ventilators. So many companies, one company in US and several companies in India and Europe have shown interest, and we are in discussion for larger scale manufacturing. And US one company is a little more advanced, and maybe in India we are looking at large scale manufacturers who can scale up to about 20,000 or so. Because we believe this product is suitable for developing as well as developed countries.
Okay, thank you. The regulator is DIPP, you said, DIPP.
Yeah. And they formed the Empowered Committee, DIPP.
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 Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma. Is there anyone else who's raised hands and would like to ask a question?
There's someone. Srishti.
Hold on.
Srishti.
Nandita Vijay,
Yeah.
sir.
No, there's no one who's raised hands apart from that.
Nandita Vijay. Nandita Vijay.
Nandita Vijay? Okay, just let me, I'll unmute Nandita.
1 minute.
Yeah.
Come on.
Nandita? Are you
How
able
long does the
to?
research, yeah, I
Yes,
can
sir.
hear
Please
you.
go ahead.
How long did the research take?
See, the mechanical, the PAP, the research is primarily on the PAP. After that, it's only engineering and development. So the PAP,
Okay.
we worked on a similar process for some other industry.
Alright.
The PAP is what is patented recently, or applied for patent. We didn't just receive the patent. So that we were working on it for almost 2 years, and specific to, and it's the same one we are using it for this particular application, ventilator.
Okay. Okay, so one more question is, what kind of funding have you received for this, or were you supported by any venture capitalists or private equity?
No, we did not require any funding from venture capital or private equity. We are an established company. Stefan is almost 20 years old. Citadel is
Yeah.
So we are an established company. Although we are niche company focused on niche research and development. So we do not need any funding for research and development. We need go-to-market funding, scaling up manufacturing. Even
For that, what would you do?
Yeah, for that we don't require funding because our forte is not manufacturing. We can manufacture smaller quantities. We want to partner with companies which have good manufacturing capabilities and they can scale up.
Okay. Since you are just 4 weeks away from manufacturing, sir, have you started a dialogue with companies? Are you in the process of identifying and having a dialogue? What is the procedure?
See, two of them. Basically, we had a peer review team. Throughout the process, we had a peer review team spread across United States, Europe, Bangalore, CMC, Vellore, and some of these people know manufacturers, so some of them got in touch with us. They were tracking our development, and two of them who knew about the development actually got in touch with us. One in United States and one in Hyderabad.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, we have Mr. Hari Menon next who wants to ask a question. Mr. Hari, can you hear us? Mr. Hari?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead and ask the question.
Shah sir, I've got a couple of. Firstly, thank you very much for making this happen.
Yeah, this is Mr.
Shah,
Reddy,
sir.
sir. It's not Shaz, it's a Shaz computer. It's Mr. Reddy.
Reddy sir, couple of questions. You already mentioned the timeline of deployment, so that's already covered. But any ballpark figure on the cost of development and how you were able to make this so much more affordable? It's like 1/4 the cost of a regular ventilator, right?
Yeah, see, basically the primary cost saving is on the sensors. I can explain in a little more detail, but basically ventilators have become more and more sophisticated over the last 50 years. There are companies manufacturing ventilators since 50 years, very advanced ventilators, and their particular designs are based on, basically the input is an air pump, which is a dumb air pump. It can be an oxygen cylinder or a gas outlet or a compressor or a turbine. And then you have many sophisticated sensors and regulators, and which are controlled by computers. So it is the sophisticated regulators are manufactured only by 6 or 7 companies in the entire world. Keyence, Sensiron, Honeywell. Now if you ask them for these regulators, they will supply you, but they'll supply you after 7 months or 1 year. So there is a supply chain constraint of these. So our design bypasses the need for highly accurate, because the precision is in the PAP itself. So we use a lot of industrial sensors modified for this. So that is one area, because some of the sensors cost about $500 each. So we bypass the need for so our most expensive sensors are $10-20 each.
Okay. And overall cost of development for this device?
The cost of development is it's a human resource cost. The component cost, I think we would have spent about so far, because everything we tried 10 times, about 15-20 lakhs or something we spent on because we don't know which components which is reliable, which is not. But that's not the cost of each ventilator. When we finalize, the component cost will be, for the PAP pump and the electronics, everything will be as low, the key components will be as low as 25,000 rupees. And all the other components, it depends from what screen you put and all that. That's variable from 10,000 to about 50,000-60,000 rupees. I'm talking about the component cost. So the biggest investment is the HR. In fact, one of our technicians cut his hand trying to cut glass. One of our technicians burnt his finger trying to melt something. So the biggest cost was, I think, HR. I think we were there, right? That's the biggest cost.
And what would that come to about?
HR cost.
Yeah.
You can't put in money. It's motivated guys who brave COVID and who take police permissions and this thing. You can't put a cost on the HR.
Oh, okay. That's okay. On a bit of a philosophical tangent. Okay, fine. Sure. But I got my answer. Super. Thanks so much, Reddy.
Thank you, Hari. Is there anyone else in lines? I can't see the raise of hands. Please let me know in chat if there's anyone else.
Gopal is still there.
Yes, sir.
Rupali Shinde.
Gopal Shinde. Okay, let me just check, sir. Rupali, yeah, Rupali. Yes, Rupali, please go ahead.
Yeah, they mentioned three different models and also how many, how are you planning to roll it out? How many?
So number one is we have to right now there are 3 or 4 jobs still ahead of us. I told you reliability, robustness testing. Also the user interfaces. Some people like now, some people like touch control, some people like silent. User interface is still going to be. We need a consensus of the user interface. But biggest thing ahead of us is reliability, robustness. That will take us minimum 2 weeks if nothing goes wrong. That is, if major components don't fail in this 2 weeks. If we have to. So the earliest we can come out is 3 to 4 weeks out into the market. How do we plan to roll out? One of our companies is an engineering company. Actually, we are sitting there right now, which is Stefan Design and Engineering. And the other main company is Citadel Research and Development. That is purely in research business. This company here is in the industrial estate in Hyderabad, Sanatnagar. This can manufacture about 300 ventilators a month maximum. So we want to tie up with manufacturers who have better capabilities in manufacturing and who can scale up and have a reach as well.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rupali. I have Maitri from the Hindu who wants to ask a question. I'll just unmute her. Yes, Maitri, are you able to hear us? Maitri?
Okay.
Maitri, are you there? I am not able to hear you. Can you put your question on the chat and I will ask sir if you're not able to switch on of the audio because I'm trying to unmute you. So just hold on.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Yes. Can you, yes. I just want to know, sir, this machine is only for COVID patients. It's not for non-COVID patients.
No. So it has 5 different modes of ventilation. Now,
Okay.
COVID requires a lot of precision and control. Now,
Okay.
anything that requires less than COVID, it can be used for all other ailments. So pretty
Right.
much it can be used for all other ailments. One of the things this does not have compared to the advanced, it's like ICU ventilator. Many ICUs use the same thing. Is what is lung mechanics computed. Doctors, pulmonologists do a lot of computations to find out the
Okay.
elasticity and compliance of the lung. So there's actually a workbench. So those workbench features on computation of the lung mechanics is not fully there as much as it's there in ICU ventilator. It can treat all the ailments. The most difficult ailment to treat is ARDS, which is for coronavirus.
Okay. Fine. Thanks.
Thank you, Maitri.
Do you also need state government's permission for this to go ahead with this?
No, we don't need state government permission, but of course, we have a company manufacturing license. We manufacture things here. We've been manufacturing medical equipment here for the last 20 years. For them to buy, yes. Whether the different state government, some may say we'll follow the Government of India standards. Some state governments in the tender say that we'll follow FDA standards. So for that, yes, of course.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I see one more raised hand. I don't know the name, but I'm unmuting because its name is not available. I would request the person to please introduce yourself. Yes, can you please introduce yourself? Hello? Hello? Yeah, I can only see the device name, which is Realme X. I can't see the name of the person. May I ask you to please introduce yourself, Mr. Reddy, before you ask the question?
Yeah, Realme. Yeah, please go ahead. Ask the question.
Hello?
Oh, it's got muted again. Realme muted, I think. Okay.
Let me just...
Maybe.
that person is left.
Okay, good.
I
Maybe
think.
he has now.
Okay. Sir, I don't think there are any more questions
Okay, great.
currently. We shall end this meeting and then you can take the questions from the Hyderabad media separately.
Great.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you, sir.
Do you want to show the ventilator picture? Take this.
We have sent that, sir. We've sent that separately.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, media friends. We will be ending the meeting now. Thank you very much.
Sorry.